If you feel like your hair never grows, I can guarantee you that one of these two things is happening. Hey there guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're brand new here, hi, my name's Courtney. Here on this channel, we talk all things wavy curly hair, healthy hair science, and if you don't have wavy curly hair, don't click out of the video, because even if you have bone straight hair, these things are going to apply to you. So if you stumbled across this video because you're trying to figure out why your hair won't grow, I got you. I have the secret sauce right here in this video. Make sure you stick around through the entire thing because there are a lot of things in this video. Yes, it is just one or two things that we will be covering mainly, but there's a lot of components to these one or two things. Okay, cool. So if you like short form content and only digest things in 10-second blocks now, because thank you TikTok for making our attention spans incredibly short, I just want to let you know that you can speed up this video in double time. YouTube does allow you to do that. I have been accused of talking a lot in my videos, but there is a reason for that. I am supposed to be your friendly local high school chemistry teacher. I have a background in chemistry, and I want you guys so desperately to have all the information that you could possibly want and or need in regards to achieving your hair goal, whether it's to embrace your waves and curls, figure out how to style those bad boys, or to finally get your hair to grow because you are so frustrated because no matter what you do, your hair always seems to stay at collarbone length. I've got some things that will 100% guarantee that your hair will start growing. But before we dive into that, I do want to put in a little side note for my wavy curly friends here on the internet that are here for all things waves and curls and aren't so interested in attaining, waist length mermaid hair. I understand that hair length may not be your ultimate goal, and that may be because the shape of your cut that you currently have is your absolute favorite. Your hair sits perfectly the way that it's cut. You like the shape, you like the layers, you like the length. Longer hair is just too much of a hassle. I totally get it. I really do understand. I'm actually a certified hairstylist here in the state of Texas, and if you are needing a really good wavy curly haircut, I got you. Check out the links in the description down below for more info on that. If you are looking for a really good haircut that has some really good shape, where your curls just fall where they're supposed to. I also help out people with incredibly long hair. Want to point that out, but there are cases where a shorter haircut on curls can just be easier to navigate life with. All right, first thing that could be happening with your hair that it is simply refusing to grow is that it's breaking. I can guarantee you that if your hair hits a certain point and doesn't grow past that certain point, and that certain point is above your navel, there is a really good chance that the reason your hair has stopped growing is it's breaking off. Everybody does have a terminal hair length that their hair can grow to based on their hair growth cycle, which is also tied to their genetics. There are people with certain genes where their terminal hair length, is like 12 feet long. We've all seen the Guinness Book of World Records woman with the longest hair. It's incredible. Her terminal hair length is much longer genetically than perhaps someone else. That being said, most people who feel like their hair won't grow, that their hair is constantly short and it never grows, that's not your actual terminal hair length. There are other factors coming into play here that are causing your hair to stay stuck in that spot. First thing I said is that it's breaking, and you're like, yeah, no it's not, Courtney, my hair is not breaking. I am doing all the stuff and things 100% perfectly correctly. Are you? Because you see, the thing is that hair is always growing. Did you know that even after we pass away, for a little bit, our hair and our nails still continue to grow? So even if you're not alive, your hair is still growing. So if you are breathing oxygen and watching this video at this current moment, I can guarantee that your hair is actually growing. You are perhaps just impatient and inconsistent. Growing long, healthy, luscious locks is a marathon, not a sprint. This isn't free 2-day Amazon Prime shipping results to your door. This is years-long process. We're not talking days. We're not talking weeks. We're not talking months. This is a years-long process of maintaining a high level of really good hair care habits, never deviating from the plan to reach the end goal of super long, healthy hair. If you are changing your hair color with the seasons, if you are switching up your hair care routine every 3 weeks because you've gotten bored, or you're testing out every single new styling tool that hits the market, it's going to be way harder to pinpoint the issue that is causing the breakage that is inhibiting your hair growth. And yes, all hair is growing, but the rate at which your hair grows can change slightly based on a few factors. And yes, I said all hair is growing, but the rate at which your hair grows can change based on a few other factors that we'll talk about in a minute. But let me get this drilled into your brain, because when I finally heard somebody make this analogy, the light bulb went off in my brain and my hair finally started to really get long and grow. Also, PS, here are my credentials. This is what my hair looks like when I chopped it all off, and here is what my hair looks like now. I was stuck at a hair length of right at my shoulders for a solid year. And I can go into why that is, but now I have adjusted some things and my hair is finally growing. It's not a super fast process, but I went from having hair at my shoulders this time last year to now this is where my hair is. You would think I would be bragging more, like I had better hair growth. I know there's people who have shock value videos where, they've got their hair in a bob and then, 6 months later they've got waist length hair. But this is the reality of what I was able to do with my hair. I am able to chop it off and it grow, but if I don't do the things right, it won't. Okay, here is the thing that was the light bulb moment for me. When somebody described hair as a rope. Hair is like a rope. When the end of a rope begins to unravel and start to fray, what can you do to keep the rope from fraying further up the rope? Well, perhaps you tie it in a really good knot and that stops the fray. Great. We can't tie the ends of our hair in a knot. That is not a feasible thing for us to do when we have a split end, because that knot will bind down on itself and hair will break, and oops, there's the fray going up the hair strand again. What else can you do with the rope? Maybe you can tape the end really, really well with some great tape. Yes, there are some split end menders out there on the market which basically do act as a tape or a seal on a split end to kind of limp it through, but it's a temporary fix. Just like tape on a frayed rope is a temporary fix, because due to weather and the elements, that tape is going to degrade and disintegrate and come off the rope, and when it does, bada bing, bada boom, the fray starts going up the rope again. How can you stop the fray from going up the rope? You cut the rope above where it's fraying. Same thing goes for your hair. When the ends of your hair split, you have one option and one option only, and that is to trim off that split. P.S. Some people think, okay, great, I'm just gonna get a pair of scissors to chill here in my home and live with me, and anytime I'm walking around and I see a random little split end on my hair, I'm gonna nip that bad boy off. Okay, that's an idea, but did you know the sharpness level of your scissors and the quality of your scissors has a huge impact on how long your hair can last after a trim. So if your shears are kitchen shears or something less than a professional hair cutting grade shear, and you get a cut with those scissors or implement that's not as sharp as hairdresser shears, it's going to crush the hair shaft, causing micro fractures on the end of it. Think you're crushing it, you're not cutting it. with those two dull scissors. It's going to split so much faster than it would have if it had been cut with an extremely sharp pair of shears. So yes, I'm sure it does sound appealing to have like just a little pair of cuticle scissors lying around and you think, okay, I'll just nip off the ends with the cuticle scissors. Split ends, won't know what hit them. I'm gonna take care of them as soon as I see them, and I'll do it at home. Don't do it with anything less than a super sharp pair of shears. Have I drilled that into your brain enough? And the reason for that is when hair is trimmed with a good, high quality pair of scissors, it's cut, it's not crushed, your hair will remain a clean end, barring other things, barring you really being hard on your hair. It should stay unsplit for roughly 3 to 4 months. At the 3 to 4 month mark, even under optimal, ideal conditions, the end can start to split and fray and will need a good cut again. But if you do this once every 3 to 4 months, the hairdresser is going to take a good look at the quality of your hair and they'll see that they only need to dust the ends. Guys, we can see a lot from behind the chair. We can see the back of your head. The back of your head is our business. We can see the splits. We can see where you put your hair in a ponytail, the exact same place every single day with a really harsh hair tie. We can see the line of breakage. As a hairdresser, I am not taking off more than my client wants. For sure, I am very, very careful with that because I work on people with wavy curly hair. Most often, I do have a few straight haired clients, but I really don't want to take off more hair than they want trimmed. However, that often means as the hairdresser, I can see that I am leaving behind some split ends because they don't want to sacrifice the length to trim off those split ends. So sometimes I will do that trick behind the chair where I fold the hair in my hand in such a way that the split ends will pop out as I slide my hand down and I nip off the split ends. I have done that. That is very, very tedious. But I will do that for the people who want a really thorough, good trim without sacrificing length. It can be done. If you have hairdresser trauma and you don't trust any hairdressers, I get it. I've had my own horrible experiences with hairdressers. Some experiences with hairdressers have been the most magical unicorn moments of my life. We all love that feeling of getting up out of the chair and feeling like a brand new human and, you know, you feel really pretty. But there have been times too where I've been traumatized, where I've had either more hair cut off than I wanted or the highlights turned out really bad. That's for you OG people who have been with me here on the channel for a really long time. Y'all have heard that story. That's a story for another day. Anyway, if you have hairdresser trauma, I get it, and you want to push your haircuts out further and further and further. You think, oh, I'll just go get a trim once a year, and that is going to help my hair grow. Or I'm going to just get a trim once every 2 years. That way my hair will finally grow. I'll quit going to these hairdressers who are constantly not listening to me and taking off more hair than I want them to. I know how to fix this. Let me tell you what happens when you do that. The split in your hair travels up your hair shaft at a rate that is faster than your hair is sprouting and growing out of your head. Do you see the problem here? The split's traveling up, the hair's growing down. The split's traveling up way faster than the hair is growing. Your hair is getting shorter in some extreme cases. This is in cases of extreme breakage and extreme split ends. Your hair can actually get shorter and shorter and shorter over time if the splits aren't addressed. The average hair growth rate is 1/2 inch to 1 inch per month. That's the average. Now, that does mean that there are outliers. There are people whose hair grows at a slower rate than 1/2 inch per month, and there are people whose hair grows at a faster rate than 1 inch per month. There are outliers. The average is 1/2 inch to 1 inch. And did you know that in the summer, our hair grows faster than it does in the winter? We, as humans, are basically plants. The more sunshine we get, the more our hair grows. Funny little fun fact. Also, did you know that humans shed more hair in the fall? We have lots of hair fall in the fall. So if you just came out of the last few months going, oh my goodness, I think I'm going bald, I'm losing all my hair? Perhaps not. Perhaps you just had a really intense fall hair shedding session. It happens to the best of us. Mine was pretty intense this year. I think it's because my hair is getting longer, and the longer your hair is, you shed a hair that's this long, it doesn't look like that much hair, but you shed one hair that's this long, it feels like a lot more hair. Any hoozles. Let's get back to the numbers. If your hair grows an inch every 3 months, you will have 4 total inches of hair growth in a year. If you are getting 4 haircuts in a year and they're taking off half an inch every time and you're doing everything else right, even if you're on the slower end of growth, you will get 4 total inches of like retained healthy hair length. I think I did a little better than that. I think I did 6-ish. So let's run the numbers here. If your hair grows at an inch every month and your hair is on the more resilient side, you get a haircut every 4 months, because that's when you start to feel, you know, the snarls and tangles and start to see the little bits of split ends. The hairdresser only dusts half an inch off. You would have 3.5 inches of growth in 4 months. So let's measure that. There you go. Right there. 3.5 inches of growth in 4 months. And if you only get 3 haircuts a year because you're going every 4 months and you're getting those trims and they're only dusting half an inch every time, you would have 10.5 inches of growth in a year, okay? Cool. That's on the higher end of the averages. So you can absolutely see that how long you can grow your hair hinges on 2 things. The rate at which it's growing out of your head. If you can get your hair to grow out of your head at a faster rate, it's gonna be easier to grow your hair longer. And 2, how long you can keep the ends from splitting. The ends of your hair are the oldest parts of your hair. They have been through every wash day, every blow dry session, every flat iron session, every coloring, highlighting, heat styling, heatless curls, and every ponytail you have ever put in your head. The ends of your hair have seen that. They've been outside when it's dry. They've been outside when it's crazy cold. They've been outside when it's super hot and sunny. They have absolutely been on your head the longest, and they are the most tired. And keeping them from splitting being your #1 goal so that your hair can grow really nice and long is the hard part. The ways you can keep your hair from splitting are all the things that we have heard before. Like if you've spent any time on the internet researching how to get your hair to grow longer, you've come across some of these things. Sleeping on a satin or silk pillowcase, using a microfiber towel instead of a terry cloth towel, using gentle brushes, having a very gentle, highly conditioning, bond repairing hair care routine, the products that you're picking, being very intentional about which products they are and what they do, layering several different products in your hair before ever blow drying it or heat styling it. Or if you're a wavy curly gal like me, using very gentle drying techniques like diffusing your hair versus, you know, putting lots of tension on the hair while we dry it to kind of like smooth out the waves and bends and curls. Honestly, there is so much information on this channel. I think I checked recently and I have over 700 videos on this channel talking about how to get the healthiest hair of your life. That might make your head spin a little bit. There's also lots of other resources on the internet. When you go to build your routine, treat your hair like gossamer silk, your grandmother's finest silk scarf was her great-great-grandmother's. Like, this thing is precious and fragile, and we've got to be so careful with it. If you start treating your hair like that and build your entire routine with that concept in mind, you're gonna be headed in the right direction. If your hair is on the finer side, it can absolutely split more easily. If you get highlights, P.S., this is why my hair was stuck at my shoulders for a really long time. I think it was back in it was the end of 2022, beginning of 2023. I chopped all my hair off, donated it, and then I bleached my hair, not once, but twice, like really hard, like a lot, like almost a platinum card if you're a hairstylist. That's where every single strand on your head has been highlighted. We were really close to that. I think I got like baby lights all over, and I did that thing twice. And oh my goodness, my hair was so bleached that I was having to get a haircut and a pretty decent trim, like not half an inch dusting haircut. Oh nay, nay, my friends. I was having to get like full on inch to 2 inch chops every month because of those highlights that fried my hair. I thought with, you know, years of wavy curly hair knowledge in my head, I could like mitigate all the damage from bleach. Turns out that when you highlight your hair that hard, there's no getting around some of that damage. So that's why it took me so long to get my hair to start growing again. I had to grow out all the old bleach and just embrace and enjoy and love my old money blonde hair color. P.S. I challenge anyone, at least at one point in their life, to see their entire head with their natural hair color. When your hair is healthy, it doesn't matter the natural hair color of your hair. It's going to be gorgeous. Healthy hair is gorgeous. I have for years thought I had dishwater, dirty blonde, mousy brown hair, and I hated that because I didn't want to be dirty or vermin. So I did what everybody does, and I got highlights in my hair because my natural hair color just wasn't pretty. Yes, it is. And guess what? Maintaining your natural hair color, like maintaining the health of your hair while wearing your natural hair color, is infinitely easier than trying to maintain the health of your hair when there's any kind of color or bleach or highlights anywhere in sight. It just is. The level, and you know who I'm talking about when I say the level of intensity that you have to bring to maintain waist length hair that is also heat styled and highlighted is amazing. There is a method out there right now dedicated to that, and it is an overwhelming method with lots of steps. It can be simplified down, I get that, but wow, it takes a lot of work. Can we all agree that highlighting your hair and maintaining waist length hair that is highlighted and heat styled takes a lot more work than if you don't. If you're just wearing your natural hair color, it simplifies things a lot. So we talked about the importance of keeping the ends of your hair from breaking and splitting, and how heat styling, aggressive brushing, tight ponytails, and coloring and heat styling and highlighting your hair can all make that more difficult. It will make the rate at which you have to get a haircut shorter. So for me, I went from getting a haircut once every 3 to 4 months to needing a haircut, not thinking I might be ready. No, like needing a haircut every single month in order to maintain the health of the ends of my hair. It shortened it to a month instead of it being 4 months. We've talked about all of that. We've talked about the importance of that. Now let's talk about ways to force your hair to sprout out of your head at a faster rate. What can you do to increase the rate at which your hair grows? You can plug your ears and sing la 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 to all the marketing hype out there. There is no magic bullet, there's no magic pill, there's no magic tool out there that you can start using to massage your scalp, or a supplement you can take to start magically forcing your hair to grow at a faster rate. The rate at which your hair grows is determined by a variety of different factors. Some of them could be tied to low circulation in your scalp, which is what those tools are doing. They're stimulating blood flow at your scalp. If there's not adequate blood flow, new hair cannot grow. If you have really poor scalp health in general, your hair is going to grow at a slower rate. But the scalp health issue, is addressed in the hair care routine. Make sure you're washing your hair more frequently than not frequently. Not washing your hair is not going to make it grow better. That is not better for your hair. That has been totally debunked at this point. In fact, I kind of lean on the side of the pendulum where let's wash our hair more frequently. I have an oily, greasy scalp, and if I don't wash my hair 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes 4 times a week, depending, I'm gonna deal with a lot of inflammation. And if there's inflammation in my scalp, guess what? The hair's not gonna grow. So that whole scalp conversation is in building a good routine for you. Scalp massagers, tools that increase blood flow to the scalp, those are all great. And yes, they can help increase the rate of hair growth if your hair growth rate was inhibited due to low circulation. If your scalp has great circulation, but there's another one of these things that is off, then getting a scalp massager is not going to make your hair grow faster because blood flow and circulation wasn't the issue. I am not a nutritionist. I'm not even a trichologist. I have just been really hyper-focused on all things healthy hair for way too long. And I have gone way too far into the rabbit hole. The hyperfixation is real. So don't hold me to any of these recommendations. I'm not a doctor, okay? Cool. But all of these things that I have talked through with friends, family, and even my curl coaching clients, when we have addressed these few issues, they have noticed a drastic increase in the rate at which their hair grows. One is nutrition. If your body does not have the building blocks it needs to grow healthy hair, it's not gonna grow you hair. Your body really loves you and it really wants you to stay alive. And guess what? If you aren't eating adequate calories or eating enough protein, your body's gonna take those valuable things and give them to essential organs in your body to keep you alive. It's not going to allocate those resources to growing you hair. It's like you can live bald, but you can't live without a heart. So we're gonna make sure that that heart keeps pumping. So make sure you're eating adequate number of calories and protein. Supplements can help, but only if there are glaring gaps in your nutrition. If you are eating adequate protein and adequate number of calories, there's a good chance that you're getting the biotin that you need. Nutritional supplements only work if there's a gap in your nutrition that supplement can fill. For example, if you're getting enough biotin from your diet in general, and you supplement with crazy amounts of biotin, thinking that it's gonna help your hair grow, you're just gonna have really expensive pee. You're going to flush that out of your system. Your body's not gonna uptake any more of whatever supplement you're taking. In fact, there are cases where people have hit toxicity in certain things by over supplementing, trying to force the hair to grow, thinking that the hair growth supplement's gonna make the hair grow when it doesn't. So supplements can be helpful. The best thing I can tell you to do is test them out, pay attention. If you don't notice a difference after the first bottle, you probably don't have those gaps in your nutrition that particular hair supplement was taking care of. I know that a lot of companies that sell hair growth supplements have said you need to take their supplement for 3 to 4 months. In my personal experience and in the experience of my friends and family and curl coaching clients, you'll see an increase in hair growth rate at the end of a month. That's been our experience. Take it with a grain of salt. And of course, on the nutrition side, are you getting enough water / are you hydrated properly? Everybody says that, but there's a lot of dehydrated humans out there. The goal that I set for myself personally, water-wise, is to drink my body weight in pounds divided by 2 in ounces. For example, if I weighed 100 pounds, which I don't, but if I weighed 100 pounds, I would have my water intake goal be 50 ounces of water. So body weight divided by 2 in ounces. That's your goal for staying adequately hydrated. The next thing you can do to increase the rate at which your hair grows out of your scalp is exercise. You heard me right. Not only is exercise good for alleviating stress, which can inhibit hair growth, it also boosts circulation and promotes overall health. You don't have to do anything fancy. A brisk 15-minute walk is a great place to start. Start where you are, start where you can, start today. Start doing something. To get that blood flowing, you don't have to do anything crazy, intense, HIIT cardio workouts where we're like sweating our eyeballs out for 2 hours in a sauna or in a cycling class, guess what? That's gonna cause stress on the body, and stress causes hair growth to not grow. Healthy exercise, nothing crazy, but blood flow, good healthy exercise can increase the rate at which your hair grows. Again, anecdotally, in my own experience, I noticed that when I started caring for my waves and curls, I kind of like dialed in how fast my hair was growing. And then I started training for a half marathon. That was so much fun. Running was a great stress reliever for me. I got the blood pumping, did a solid 30-minute type run every day. Not every day, but like as a part of my regular routine. I think I was running like 3 to 4 times a week. Any hoozles, I noticed that the rate at which my hair grew sped up exponentially. I am talking, I blinked and my hair was down to here. It was so cool to see how running tied to the rate at which my hair grew. Another thing you can do to increase the rate at which your hair sprouts out of your scalp is check for underlying health conditions. If you have gone on that shot that's super popular right now and you have recently lost a ton of weight, there is a very high likelihood that you're going to experience some pretty intense shedding. If you've had a baby, there is a high likelihood that you're going to experience some intense hair shedding. Those aren't the things I'm talking about. When I tell you that I have had clients come sit in my chair and I start getting my fingers in their hair, I can tell and feel the clients that have thyroid issues. Their hair all feels similar. Check for underlying health conditions that could be causing your hair to be more dry, more brittle, that cause it to snap and break more frequently, which means that you need more haircuts, which means that your hair is going to be shorter because it's dry and brittle, but also can inhibit the actual hair growth that's happening. Once those underlying health issues have been addressed, hair starts to grow a little bit faster. Like I said before, reducing stress, very, very helpful, and maintaining that healthy scalp environment keeps the hair growing well. So to sum up, hair retention, overall hair length equals your growth rate minus breakage and the number of trims that you need. You can't control your genetics, but you can control how well you protect the ends of your hair, and you can support your body in what it's already naturally designed to do. All right, guys, that is it for this video. If you found it helpful, it would mean the world to me if you'd give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend. It really does help out the channel and allows me to continue showing up here on the internet to do my best to help you guys out to get the best hair of your life. I want that for everybody. When I finally realized I didn't have bad hair, I just had wavy curly hair and it needed different things than what I was doing to it. All of a sudden I started liking my hair for the first time in my life, and that actually translated into me finally deeply realizing that I am in fact fearfully and wonderfully made. So I want that for everybody. I want to keep showing up here on the internet. If you could help your girl out by liking and sharing and commenting, the YouTube algorithm loves all of those things. As always, I sure hope you are having an absolutely fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.